Good morning, guys. Good evening if you're watching this. Good evening. My name is Chico Lopez, 123pitbulls.com. I just kind of want to share with you. We came to a boxing event. We are in Vegas, and just kind of want to let you know we're doing great things for the breed. We're teaching, we're improving, we are letting the new generations, the smart people, the ones that have IQ, the ones that have curiosity, the biggest, most important word that you can have in any field that you get in the world is curiosity. You know, and understand the difference in generations, how some men used to think and how some other men think, and learn and improve. And I'm going to answer this question. I'm going to give you this topic so you can learn. The American Pitbull Terrier was created for superiority. At the core of the real American Pitbull Terrier, you might not have the real American Pitbull Terrier. You might have a dog that's descended by some bloodline process, some stuff. Some dog that might be raised with somebody, and you have a little thing hang on the wall. And the dog was probably bred by someone that was not important, someone that is not really relevant. And the dog might be a good pet. And it might suit you for what you want. And you might have this thing where, I used to think about my dog, Bruno Boy, $40 dog that was a superstar. He is a legend. A very Forrest Gump-like type of story. I don't know if you saw the movie Forrest Gump. Incredible movie. And so you had the rookie that everybody thought it was Mexican. And in New York at the time, all the Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and Cubans, they just hated Mexicans. They thought Mexicans were like illegal aliens, and they're Latinos. You wouldn't believe the level of racism that they used to have against Mexicans. Now today, I think Mexicans are very powerful in New York. But they saw these young men with a suit and tie all the time, dressed to impress, Italian dress, always nice watches, and had a dog from the streets. And that dog became a legend. And so the spirit American Pitbull Terrier, and it's so sad because in America, the best men that, their grandparents or their parents got out of the dogs, and they used to own, I get a lot of calls on those. They call me, they say, Chico, my grandfather used to have this red-nosed American Pitbull Terrier, or he used to have this dog from these men or whatever. But, I can't find somebody, and, I always had Labradors, because my father got out of the dogs because they said they were all scumbags in the dogs. There's not worth staying in the dogs. He had too much to lose hanging around with these new scumbags of the ones that came in 2010 and stuff like that. And those men, those great men, the potential to be maybe even better than me in the dogs, they now own Labradors, and they don't want to get into the breed because when they look at the individuals, when they look at the swampers, when they look at the lowlifes, they are stuck in them. And they don't want to be part of that. And they look at the dogs that are ugly. And then the other side is the delusionals, the ones that when he was a little kid back in 2010, 2000 and whatever it is, he stepped out of the door and there was a blue mud, and the father said, oh, that's a pit bull, that's a very high quality. His father don't know nothing. He's also young. And the neighbor said, oh, yeah, this is a gaudy dog, whatever, blue, whatever, motherfucker, best pit bulls in the world. And that guy started thinking that those dogs are the real deal. And for years, the so-called people that love the breed, they were quiet. And all of a sudden, these men with 34 years of experience in the breed, and not only experience, but with merits, because you could be in something, you could play basketball in the neighborhood, and never won a championship in the NBA and call yourself a basketball player. Maybe you have basketball fancier, but to be at the top, it takes time. And now you get this guy with all these merits, all this stuff, telling you that there is a Michael Jordan. There's a better way to do it. There is a better dog. That the dog you have is not the real American Pitbull Terrier. So of course I'm going to have a flashback. When I tell you that those criminals own the dogs today, they are swampers. They're not real dogmen. The men in the past, back in the 90s, we didn't have computers. We didn't have phones, or we didn't have social media. We were busy working our dogs and spending time with our dogs, building up the breed. Today, these guys, they think that talking and having a gathering and having a consensus moron conversation is actually building the breed. And they talk about the streets. They love to talk about the streets because they think being a dogman is being a gangster. They think that being a dogman is some street hoodlum type of dog. Hey, yeah. Well, what's up, man? Yeah, these guys, yeah, he's good, man. Oh, yeah, he did some time, man. He real, man. He's certified. Really? He's legit. He's certified. Yeah. He's an ex-convict, man. The man put the time in jail for selling drugs, for rapists, for whatever. That's what you have today. These mooks completely out of whack. And that's a voice that the good people in America, the new guys coming into the dogs, don't need to hear. But it's there. But what I do is I'm the voice of the winner. And the winner is talking. And he's telling you, you don't have to be at the level. You could be a good man. Go to school. Don't fight dogs. Don't breed dogs. Go to school. Become a great man. Become an entrepreneur. Open your own company. Help somebody in society. Become a great man. And when you're ready to have a great dog, look for the best brand. And your brand is going to be that man that is at the top, whoever they might be at the top. If you want to come to me, I don't know if I'm going to sell you a dog. Even if you can afford my dog, I'm probably not going to sell you a dog. But if you qualify in terms of you being a great man, you're willing to sign a legal contract where if you are fighting dogs, I will call the police on you. You see, they come and say, oh, Chico snitch. No. Let me tell you something. You have two guys robbing a bank, and one of the robbers, gets caught, or he goes behind, he repent himself, and he called the cops. Then he snitched on the other guys that were robbing the bank. That's a snitch. But if you get a guy that's a good citizen walking by, and he sees some thugs robbing a bank, and he tells on them he's not a snitch. I'm not on the side of the criminals. I'm on the side of the good citizens. Today, I'm a very good citizen. And what I'm doing today is really what matters. And my message is don't fight dogs. Do not breed dogs. Learn from Chico Lopez how to be a great dog owner and have a great life in whatever that you want to do in society. That's what I want you to do. I want you to become a great man and have the right dog. I don't want you to be a fool walking around with a blue dog and thinking you have a Pitbull. Because those registries that register the blues, and they call them American Pitbull Terrier, they did a huge disservice to the breed. Huge. And those judges that give ribbons to those blue mutts, huge. Those dogs were never a bloodline of American Pitbull Terriers. Those dogs were never, they don't have a flagship man, one of those pillars of the breed, like a Crenshaw, like an Acre, like a Hollingsworth, like a Chico Lopez, like a Tudor. They don't have those with us. That there might have been some blue dogs in the back of the pedigrees back in the 1800s, or maybe in the early 1900s. Might have been. I wasn't even born. What matters is what happens under my watch. That's what matters. What I have done, how I added value. And I can tell you that when I step in 1990 and I look back at 1985, that's when the blue dogs, they call them Pitbulls, well, they're fake. They were the ancestors of the mutants, the bullies, the XLs, double X's, triple X's, the giants from Netflix, all those mutts. And when you go back, further back in the real breed, not on the mutant level, that's different swamp, but it's a swamp also, because the mentality is a swamp. The mentality, the culture is the swamp. And then the actions as well. But when you go back and you look at Mayday, for instance, and you look at Grand Champion Yellow, and you go behind Yellow, a few dogs there, right there by the 1970s. It was a big thing that happened in 1970. The skyrocket, the American Pitbull Terrier. The quality. There was an event in 1950s and an event in the 1970s. Both of these events rocketed the quality of the American Pitbull Terrier. Improved it. Poof! Like nitros on a freaking Pinto. And so, there we go, guys. That's what happens. You're going to make a decision. And the reason why I make these videos, although I already have the best dogs in the world, and I'm successful, and I travel around the world, and I'm having a real good life, and I have the most beautiful wife, and she loves the dogs and everything else. The reason why I make this, because I remember me. I remember me when I got into dogs. My first dog was a street-level American Pitbull Terrier mutt Pitbull. But he was a great dog, and I love him. He broke my heart when I found out he's not a real American Pitbull Terrier. He just broke my heart. And But then I decided not to breed him. I decided to be a great man and build my own bloodline. But he was high level, and they call him 1 in a billion. Many of my friends call him 1 in a billion. That day I was talking to one of my friends from New York. I haven't seen him in 25 years, Sammy the Arab. I haven't seen him in 25, yeah, maybe more than 25, but about 25, 27 years old. 27 years ago. Sammy the Arab. And we were talking on the phone. And he said, Chico, you and Bruno Boy, that was a spectacle to see. You were such a rookie, so passionate, and you got this dog that didn't look like he can make the part. And there you go. The best dog I ever seen, and you are the best dog man I ever met. And so those kind of things for me are like little gems. When all the haters and all the people talk, you understand this. I don't get upset. I am very high drive, so it looks like I'm upset, but I'm intense. I'm very intense. I'm a weird personality. I'm a disruptor, I'm a disruptor. I'm passionate like a motherfucker. And at the same time, I'm analytical like a motherfucker. I look at the numbers. All the mathematics, all the numbers. Wow, crazy how the brain works. Yet at the same time, I'm also pragmatic. Weird combination. I want to win. I was a Boy Scout. I went to Australia when I was 14 years old. And I was the best. I won every competition. I was in a gift and talented school for children because the teachers couldn't handle me. I remember a teacher one time, we moved to the city from one city to one school to another school in the middle of the season, of the school year. And this teacher said, man, these kids are going to come in from a poor school. They're going to fuck up my roster. I got these kids that I'm bringing them all the way from first grade, and they top of the line. When they were closing the year, he went and told my mother, he said these words: if I don't study every single day and prepare myself the class very well, your son Chico Lopez will give the class. I was just a tremendous, great kid. I wish I could have a son like that. Just a tremendous kid. And I need to have a kid like that, man. I would be so freaking happy to have a kid. So loyal, so crazy, so devoted. So I'm that person that now loves the dogs. 34 years later, I'm here. So don't ever think like, oh, the Chico got upset. I don't get upset. Trust me, when most of the swampers come in with their ideas and the conversations, I find it freaking funny. And it's because the IQ is very low. Trust me. That's why they're the swamp. And so for you guys watching this video and having a good time listening to great old Chico Lopez, I want you to know I live a great life. I have lived a great life. I make many mistakes, but those were lessons that I learned, great things. You got to have those in your life. And I added value, tremendous value to the breed. You watching this video right now? I'm adding value to the breed right now as we talk, as you're listening to these words. Because some of you are hating, but some of you are listening and learning, and I make this for you. Going back to the Bronx, Chico from the Bronx, and you had this man, me, that I had Bruno Boy, and I wanted to become, great in the dogs. And a magazine from a registry that's supposed to register only American Pitbull Terriers, game dogs of the time, the real ones, not the UKC, had in the magazine blue dogs. What a disgrace! They would have lost Chico Lopez, the breed. I look at those, I didn't like them, but they were like the most expensive ones, and I didn't know the process of buying an American Pitbull Terrier or nothing. You're learning a lot from me for free. Say thank you very much in the comments. Hit the like button and subscribe for more like this, more content like this from great Chico Lopez. And so, thanks to a man, rest in peace, Ralph. He told me those are mutts. That's a pivotal moment. I have to be very grateful, very thankful to Ralph. And he said, those are mutts. Let me teach you, kid. This is an American Pitbull Terrier. This is how it looks. This is where they come from. And these are the names of the men that build the bloodlines. It was a very important time. And with this, the brain at the nighttime, walking my dogs, brand new puppies that I had, and doing all these great things, it was just phenomenal. Phenomenal. Remembering going to the park with 4 or 5 dogs, puppies, they're like Some of them are like a year old. Some of them are like, and you know, the sun is coming out, and I don't get enough. I don't get enough. We didn't have the internet. Thank God we didn't have social media. So it was all about me developing, dreaming, thinking, observation. Woo! I love the American Pitbull Terrier. My dogs, not the ones you have, but the ones I got. I love them. They're sensational. I traveled the whole world. North China, South China, Thailand, you know, Ukraine, all over Spain, North Spain, South Spain, Madrid, Toledo, all those places, you know, from Calabria in Italy to Rome to all over the place. In, you know, the Balkans, Montenegro, Serbia, all these places. Mexico, every border, the whole border, I ate it completely. From Tijuana all the way to Morelia, Juarez, Reynosa. I went there, put my flag. I went to, what was the name called? Ensenada, planted my flag, bestie show. Mexico City, Acapulco, Veracruz, from cross to cross. Whoa, Brazil, all over Brazil, South America. I developed my dogs. The American Pitbull Terrier, as you learn, is in the world of selection. Everything, even the clients, when I look at the people, I want to select the best people. But the American Pitbull Terrier is about selection. So some guy told me, he said, listen, so that's kind of racist, Chico. Yes, it's racist. Because you come from the world of inclusion. Everything got to be included, this guy, acceptance, equality. American Pitbull Terrier is more like the Bible, where he says, many were called, yet few are chosen. Matthew 24:14 and 22:14. And when you're looking at this, means that many were called, but only some little ones, just a little bit qualify. And that qualification comes by merits. That qualification comes from excellence. So not everybody participates. It's a principle. It's called the parental principle. Look it up, parental principle. The parental principle is in every company, 80% of the workers are good or below good. Good is not good. And only 20% are on that sustain the company. So in every endeavor you do, 80% of the activities are not conducive to the betterment of the company or the betterment of the institution, the betterment of whatever. It's only 20%. And in the American Pitbull Terrier, it's only 1%. So I'm not in the process of acceptance. I'm in the process of rejection. Trust me, if somebody have black dogs and those dogs were way better than mine, I will get rid of mine. I have the black dogs. If there was a dogman that was better than me, a real dogman, not a mud breeder or some dog fighter that thinks he's a dogman. You know, all those guys, dogman, whatever. You see it. You see these guys. You know, you see automatically, and they hate because they want to be dogmen so bad. They even put on their name dogman, APVT, whatever the fuck. There's two words in the American Pitbull Terrier that are absolutely fucked up. Number one, and the most important, dogman. They self-entitled, call themselves dogmen. The mutts don't qualify to be dogmen. They literally poor dog owners, garbage dog owners. They're a negative force to the breed. And so, and they have voices because now through YouTube, you know, YouTube pays you through people sending cash out, people sending how do you call those things, super shots and the stuff and the views and whatever. And plus these mooks get an audience and they love it because they're nobody. But you know, in life they're nobody. Most of them are criminals, but they're nobody. And all of a sudden, on these, the word dogman is like being a knight, being a king. And so they call themselves dogmen. They don't qualify to be dogmen. The word dogman is very deep, and it's a title. It's a title. It's a title like being really great at something, being important and fundamental. You're only important in the breed when you can add a tremendous value. I believe that being a great dog owner of a super dog, of a super puppy, is 1,000% more rewarding than being a pretentious scumbag, self-called dogman. And so what I make these videos again is so the great people that I hope you are a great man, you can see these principles and look over this video over and over again and you start to learn and you start to understand. And then you go back to the swamp, because you probably want to say the swamp, and just be a voice against that. Because before we didn't have this, a great voice of a great man talking these terms. You're never going to hear. I'm the only one. Everything else is the swamp, and the swamp unites, They all unite against Chico Lopez, and I love